Hello.
Alright, what's up, man?
Hello, my friend. How are you going?
Listen, man, everything is super. After popular demand, the first podcast was a success, okay? It was insane. And due to popular demand, we are bringing back the second. This is going to be a weekly thing. We're going to talk about, because the UFC is actually putting on fights and events, it's going to be a weekly thing. Because we actually have something to talk about. Man, first of all, 258, man. That was a banger card, I'm not gonna lie. That was a banger. What are you saying, man?
258 was, honestly, there's two fights on it that I actually watched because I was a sleepy boy. Um, I was not staying up for 6 a.m. Uh, the the Usman the Usman fight it was not a letdown. That's the fight me and you woke up and we watched. I think my audio
Yeah.
doesn't work properly, so I don't think you can hear our reactions for it. But um,
Listen,
the
man.
U-
We
the-
fucking were in
we watched
disbelief.
it, but the Usman fight, I'm actually really glad I woke up for that one. It was
Facts.
it was 100% worth it. Like Kamara Usman, he went out there and he stood up with this guy. He got dropped. We
Yeah.
can't let that go. He got dropped, which was quite funny. I think it was by like an overhand right, it was an overhand right. Um, and he just instantly like a champion, he adjusted. He took a mental moment and said, hold on, I got this, I got this.
Hold on,
And
brother, I'm
then
talking.
exactly, he took a Tony Ferguson champ shit only moment. Um, he took his moment and he went back round two, dropped Gilbert with a fucking jab, and then he in the third dropped him again with a jab, and it was just
Did he not drop him twice in the second? It was a 10-7.
uh, it was a two dropped him twice, and then in the third he
Usman
dropped him
got
again.
dropped once, so he was like, you know what? I'm gonna double your offer. And here's 2 knockdowns and a cheeky knockout finish. And he finished him with a jab. That jab is actually disgusting. I'm not gonna lie. That jab is filthy.
I don't know how he snaps it out like so strong because well, it was always like a southpaw jab, so I suppose, but at the same time, it's still a jab, you know?
Yeah.
He just always caught Gilbert coming in at the right time and he just on the chin, he was jabbing this guy. So Gilbert Burns has been susceptible to becoming like a fucking idiot and just running at people in the past. For example, when he fought the true welterweight champion, the true welterweight number one contender, Dan Hooker, and Dan Hooker starched him. And we all know how good Dan Hooker is. Like
Dan Hooker's the GOAT.
Dan Hooker's a great fighter, but like Michael Chandler made him look like a baby.
Man, I
Like
think this sets up the MMA Math Championship of the World match. Michael Chandler versus Kamaru Usman.
it's the fight we all want to see.
It's the
It's
fight
the
we want
only
to see,
fight
man.
it's the only fight that makes sense. Michael Chandler and let's even make it even Dana White 110%. He's gonna pull out and say 167 is the weight class
We're
just to
bringing
make
back a
it
new one.
the 167 champion. Michael Chandler is gonna defend his belt
Against nobody, man.
with
He's
his
gonna be in there
son
by
in
himself.
his corner.
Tag team.
His son in the corner. I think like let's be real here. Michael Chandler. Um, I can't wait for his next fight, but let's keep on the welterweight division. Um,
Wait. So you're gonna glance past the 2 other fights in 258.
I mean,
You're gonna glance past.
I didn't watch Bilal Muhammad to be honest.
Listen, okay, I'm gonna be real, yeah? I didn't watch that fight either. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. I was possibly asleep or I was possibly, man, listen, all those days were a blur. But pretty much, man. Uh, Apparently Bilal Muhammad was very dominant in that fight, and he basically
How
he won by decision, unanimous decision, and apparently it was disgusting. I'm definitely gonna watch that fight like real soon. But
we probably should have watched that. We probably should have watched that in advance of this. Oh, he fought.
Listen,
Oh, he beat Lima's brother. I
yeah,
forgot he was fighting him.
listen, man. One fight that I did watch right before we called, because I looked at the card and I was like, oh, that's cheeky. Kevin Gastelum was fighting on the card, and he got that nice dub. He got a very
I
nice
saw that.
W
I saw that.
against a young Russian up and comer,
No,
number
number 15
15.
ranked. Yeah.
Uh, he came up. It was a good fight, you know. It was a good fight. Uh, Kevin Gastelum,
I
this
hold on.
Russian
I
guy was
want to get
hungry
up.
for a Kimura,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, what are you saying?
I actually saw that. Like he was quite. I saw that. Like watching that fight. Like it just showed me that like Kelvin was like yeah Kelvin was just like so above this guy. He was so much better than. There is his name, Ian Heisek. I feel like he's German. Is he?
His
Um,
coach had the
he
RU
looked
on the shoulder, so
he looked so much more hungry. He's born in the United States.
Mr. International versus fucking Kevin Gastelum, man.
Kelvin. What I saw the fight. What I kept thinking about it was Calvin just showed so much more experience in the game. Like Ian, like he could have come in and like the most basic thing he could have kept doing. What I heard Joe Rogan saying on the commentary is that fucking body kick. Calvin was so open to it, and he landed it once or twice, and it rattled the entire arena. You could hear it. It didn't make sense why he wasn't abusing that body or the body kick because he was so open because Calvin's
Mm.
a southpaw and he was orthodox. But um, also Ian Heinsick, I'm not quite sure if I'm saying his name properly, but he was just going for fucking flying knees. Like he kept going for them. And
Oh, he
Kelvin just
landed
kept,
one though.
Kelvin ate them. He ate them and then just took them
Man,
down. Like Kelvin in that fight, like here, hold on, I have the stats up. Um, hold on, let me see it now.
go on, brother.
Uh,
Read them out for everyone.
Takedowns. So, strikes 51 of 115 from Calvin to 56 of 107 from Ian Heisig, which is pretty good, but yeah, Heinsick, how are you saying his name?
I don't know. First though,
Well, I'll call him Ian.
I'd like to
I'll call him
apologize
Ian.
to the audience. I made a huge fatal error about this guy. First of all, he's not Russian and he is not young, considering MMA. I got
He's
my
32. He's older than Kelvin.
I got my facts wrong. My bad,
Com-
you know. But we live and we
But
learn.
Kelvin 38 out of 84 significance to 27. 27 landed of 67 from. I'm calling him Ian. I'm just gonna go with Ian.
Yeah.
Um, but the big thing that I noticed anyway in this fight was Kelvin with 6 takedowns,
Oh man,
and he
stop.
attempted
Stop,
14,
man.
and
Stop.
this guy Ian attempted 6, and he landed one at the very end of the fight. And then as soon as he landed it, Kelvin went, you know what? You think you can just double leg me? I'll double leg you. And he just
Double like them
double
2
legged him.
seconds later.
If Kelvin had another 20 seconds, the amount of ground and pound this guy was putting in with two
Oh
seconds to
man.
go was just unfair.
This
Uh,
fight, I'm so happy Calvin was able to win, to bounce back again. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
he
he
did
got,
have a
yeah,
loss against Darren Till, although it wasn't it wasn't a dominant loss. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
but it was a loss nevertheless after losing against fucking Israel Adesanya as well. You know what I mean? Those two big losses. I think he definitely needed a fight to like reevaluate himself, put him back into the
yeah,
contendership for the title. You know, because man, you could talk all you want about this Kelvin guy, yeah, this Kelvin Gastelum legend, yeah. But the beating that he put on Israel, he made Israel basically say, "Man, I'm gonna die in this fight. I don't care. I'm ready to die in this fight." He made him look like he got stung by 20,000 bees, man. Like, bro, what?
See, the thing with Kelvin is like he's always a dangerous fighter. And actually, I'm looking at the rankings now on the UFC website, and apparently he's gone up after his win on Uriah. Uriah Hall's gone down. And this guy, Kelvin Gastelum, has absolutely ruined my boy Ian's reputation. And
Oh, he's
with
gone.
that loss, he's off the rankings.
He is gone.
Brad
Whoa.
Tavares is almost off the rankings, to be fair, as well. But you know what? I'm actually looking at something so stupid right now. Khamzat Chimaev
I
has
was gonna
gone
say,
up
you're
in
gonna
the
say.
rankings. Let's talk about Khamzat Chimaev. Let's talk about
This guy,
Khamzat
man.
Chimaev.
This guy hit his cap. He hit 3 fights, and he's like, you know what? I'm taking a year off, man. He hit his 3
Ah,
fight cap, man. Because now,
let's to be fair. Come on. He's got he's got the COVID lingering. To be
that's
fair to
true,
him,
man. But it's just so annoying the fact that he's
that's
already
why
been
the first fight
scheduled.
was cancelled, wasn't it? Because Leon had lingering
Yeah, and
issues with
then
it.
Hamza, and then another time. So, man, I reckon put Hamza with Bilal Muhammad. I reckon put them in together. See what happens. It's I don't want to say a gimme fight, but like, it's not a gimme fight, but it's like a fight to like just to make sure that this Chimaev kid isn't a fucking, you know, isn't a fucking like I don't know, a hype train pretty much.
Yeah,
You know what I
no,
mean?
I get what you mean. I think Hamza can go in any can fit in anywhere in 170 and 185. I think he's more naturally a 170 fighter, but I think if you give uh Hamza anybody, so if you give him, a fight. See, the fight that would be so fun, but like it would, I think his opponent wouldn't take it, and that's Tyrone Woodley. That'd be a great fight to give him, but Tyrone Woodley would not
Ooh,
take Khamzat Chimaev, because if Tyrone Woodley wins that fight, then he just beat a hype train. No, he's just derailed a hype train, instantly puts him back in a title picture almost. But if he loses, then he just lost to number 14, Khamzat
I,
Chimaev,
I reckon Hamza Chimaev, he
or Bilal Muhammad, of course, as you were saying.
the greatest one, the greatest number 13 in the welterweight division, Bilal Muhammad. But listen,
Anyone in
I
top 10.
reckon I reckon Hamza Chimaev.
Sorry.
I reckon he knocks out Tyron Woodley. To be honest with you, I reckon he
Oh
finishes him.
yeah. I don't know, but I think he would definitely outdo him for a long time. But I think if you could give Khamzat anybody in the welterweight division, literally, like Gilbert Burns versus Khamzat Chimaev, what a fight that would be. Um, like Khamzat Chimaev versus, I see Leon Edwards is meant to happen, but Khamzat literally versus anyone from 15 to 10 is an amazing fight. Even if you give him Damian Maya, who was talking about Neil Magny, who's just coming off a loss, by the way. Any of those fights make perfect sense to me. Same with in the middleweight division. You can give him literally anyone there. Like, if you want to throw him in there with some big boys and see what happens, like Derek Brunson, see what happens there. Kelvin Gastelum, Uriah Hall, Kevin Holland. If you
I
put him in
reckon.
there with anyone, it's going to be a banger. And I think that, no, I think once you get to the top, so
Yeah.
I think once you get to the top 10 of each division, then you're kind of, these fights are a bit interesting. But anyone below number 10 in either the welterweight and middleweight division, I think that Kamzat will go straight through either of them.
Man, I think a nice little thing to do for Hamza is the loser or the winner. But it makes more sense to put the loser of Uriah Hall and Chris Weidman because it gives the fighter a second chance to kind of reestablish themselves after a loss like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think I think I like him at middleweight and at welterweight, like, say so do you, but I don't think they'll
Yeah,
do that. I think they're going to try and push him to pick one for now and then move up if he conquers that division. So
yeah,
I think like Kamza has such a high ceiling is what I love about him is because he could be shit at welterweight. You know what I mean? He could be terrible, but then he could go to middleweight and then because he's not cutting as much weight and stuff, he could be such a better fighter.
yeah.
That's just how I see him. I think he'd be great. Like he's got so much to move with. He could take an L a welterweight and then go to middleweight and he'd be amazing. But he was saying ages ago in an interview he might try and conquer that 155. I don't think he's making 155 many times. I don't think he's making 155.
Oh man,
He'd call out Khabib, and then that would be the greatest ever fight. That would be such a
that
fun
would,
fight, but
that would be such a fun fight to watch, man.
but
The
but
the
like
two bearded goats, man.
this is if this man's less than a hype train. Like he's got such a high ceiling. He was meant to fight Leon Edwards, who currently wants to fight still in March.
Yeah.
Um, but the only problem with that I found out I was listening to Leon Edwards' interview with Ariel Helwani on ESPN MMA. You want to check it out. It's very interesting. But so Leon
Shout out to
wanted.
ESPN.
Shut up, man. I'm just letting people know where to get the insights, my man.
Yeah, yeah,
But
true, true.
Leon had Kamzat number 15. He's number 14 now somehow. You know. Anyway, which makes no sense. But
They did Robbie Lawler so dirty because he didn't even like they literally
neither
nothing
of them have
changed.
fought.
They
Neither of
just
them
gave
have
him a
fought.
raise.
But anyway, so Leon wants anyone in the top five, he said, but that can't happen. Stephen Thompson's out injured till the summer. Michael Chiesa is out until the summer. Tyrone Woodley is a rapper, um, and allegedly, and he's also going to be cornering Funky Ben Askren, who we'll talk about that in
Oh.
another episode. But maybe closer to the event. But there's literally no one for Leon to fight. I think, like
No, man, you're
no one
wrong.
no one that makes sense in my opinion.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
Colby's
My
not
man.
going to fight him.
Nah, Stephen Thompson, man.
He's injured until summer. That's what I'm saying.
Wait, did he get injured?
He's injured until the summer. That's what Ariel Helwani said. Stephen Thompson and Chiesa are both out until summer.
Oh.
Exactly. So like, if he's gonna like for me anyway, like if he doesn't, because Colby won't give him this. Because Colby Covington, let's be real, is the GOAT of MMA. So he clearly should be getting a title shot for no reason, just like George Masvidal. But um, Colby needs to. I think Colby should take the Leon Edwards fight. Like it actually makes sense.
Yeah, because the thing is, Kobe
Because that
should
that
fight
would
Leon.
be yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I think because Kamaru Usman has his eyes set on the Jorge Masvidal rematch. He called him out. He called him out directly because he cleared out the whole division, like the whole top five. Do you know what I mean? Like he basically picks who he wants next, and he is
Hey,
picking. He's saying this time, man, I want you to have a full camp. I want no excuses. Full camp, and this time I'll finish you. This time I'll show like there's no excuses this time.
but there's one man who he hasn't fought, and that's the GOAT of the top five, and that's Stephen Wonderboy Thompson.
Man, Stephen Boyd Thompson, you know, the nicest motherfucker, the NMF of the UFC. He even said in a tweet after the fight, he said, so since Usman has pretty much fought everyone except for me, let's get it on basically. Let's get it on. I'll put it on the screen anyway, but he was saying like, yo, let's go, man. Let's go, Kamaru Usman. And I think, because Stephen Thompson, yeah, you wouldn't think it, but he is, for MMA, he is like in that kind of retirement age. He is 38 years old. And I reckon,
Yeah,
you know, he had two
yeah,
close fights with Tyrone Woodley. And I reckon he gets one more title run. This one more title run just to get that like strap over his shoulder, over his waist. And if not, he could just retire, I reckon. Retire knowing that
yeah.
he tried.
Like Stephen Thompson was in his last four has lost two, which one of them, only one of them to be fair. The Darren Till fight he lost on decision. That could have gone either way. A lot of people said. Um, and then also he lost to Anthony Pettis, which
By a
was
fucking Superman punch off the cage, man.
well, that was unfortunate. Stephen Thompson, though, to be honest, like, yeah, he's top five. He's a good fighter and all, but like he beat Vicente Luque, a
That
good
was the
fighter,
most dominant performance I've seen. It was disgusting, to be honest with you.
and then he fought I'm not sure of this guy's name fully. Neil is it's what's coming up. I don't actually know. But there's two decision victories. Um, he looks like he's not he's the first against Luque. I know that was definitely an impressive victory, but Jeff Neal, he fought he's beat number 10 and number 11 in his last two fights. Uh, it does make sense for Stephen Thompson to fight someone like Leon, Gilbert,
Mm.
Colby, someone, or maybe even Chiesa. Um, I don't think anyone lower that like Tyrone Woodley again, the trilogy. That would be a good
Oh,
fight to put
stop,
on.
man.
I think because I think Tyrone Woodley needs a win, and given someone he's already beat twice, someone like Leo on a hot streak, Stephen Thompson. That fight actually to me it makes sense, but
Yeah.
I think that it doesn't do a lot for Stephen Thompson, like who hasn't beaten Tyrone Woodley at this point is kind of what I'm thinking. Um, like Tyrone Woodley, he's on two fight skid, isn't he?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, he lost to Kamara, and he also
Three fight.
lost to
Gilbert
three
and Kobe.
fight. Oh fuck, I forgot about
The
that.
rib injury. And he's fighting actually soon. March 27th, he's fighting
He's fighting.
Vicente Luke, man.
Oh, I
So
said that in the last podcast. He's fighting Vincente Luke. Okay. Uh, if Tyrone Woodley loses that fight, it's kind of game over, to be honest.
I reckon he should just read Vicente Luke, yeah. He got like let's be real, yeah, he
Great
got
fighter.
dominated
Great
by
fighter.
Stephen Thompson.
Great
But he's
fighter.
on a 2-fight like hot streak as well. He finished although it was a doctor stoppage against Nico Price. But then he finished Randy Brown. Like 2 finishes pretty much right after that loss. So I think that's a very good fight to like because winning against like a good name like the past middleweight champ, welterweight champ, uh, Tyron Woodley. I think that's a very good way to propel yourself in the UFC welterweight rankings.
Yeah, Vincent, like that could even open up that fight to a Stephen Thompson rematch. Like it's a very open division right now,
Yeah,
but it's open, but it feels like it's kind of closed off because there is so much you can do, but like people at the top like Colby doesn't seem like he wants to fight anybody except for George or
yeah,
the champion.
yeah,
Um, and then you have Stephen Wonderboy who wants to fight anyone as long as it's 4, 3, 2, or 1. He wants to fight people better than him and the rankings because he's taken two fights to be fair to him against 10 and 11 who probably were a bit lower or maybe a bit higher, who knows. But I'm not quite sure when they fought, but what their rankings were at the time. But Stephen Thompson, he took fights against people who aren't like as high as him. Like he was giving people the chance to propel themselves rather because those fights didn't do very much for him in terms of putting him up in the rankings. They just kind of kept him in the same place. Like he needs to fight someone
yeah,
like Chiesa. Woodley would put him up in the rankings. Like Chiesa, Woodley, like Jorge, Leon, Gilbert, Colby. Anyone in that row, he should be fighting. He shouldn't be fighting anybody much lower than him because it doesn't make sense for him at this point.
mm,
At his age, especially. I don't think
yeah,
that's being taken into account by the UFC that he is getting older. Like I think, realistically, with an almost 40-year-old Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, whose his whole fight style is based on his timing and everything because he's so good at that
yeah.
karate stance.
Facts,
You
man,
only have
facts.
one or two good fights left in him, I think. Maybe three. And realistically he'll fight twice this year probably.
Yeah,
if maybe even once, but he's getting older. You need to give this guy his shot while he's still fresh.
that's
And
true. Especially since he only fought once last year. I reckon he fights twice this year. I reckon he his this is basically like his hot streak is his last title run essentially. It's what Alistair Overeem dreamt of. You know, he's 38 years old. I don't want to bash on the guy. He's definitely still an elite fighter. Like the rankings prove it, man. There's a reason why he's still top five, yeah.
of
But
course,
like, if I think if he loses a fight, do you know what I mean? It's just like it's basically time because is his body gonna keep up trying to rebound? Because like if you're trying to rebound for a title after a loss. That's like minimum three fights, and in those three fights or two fights, you're gonna have to have some very impressive performances and against very elite fighters to put yourself back on the map. Do you know what I mean? So I reckon he basically this is his last title run. This is the last dance.
yeah. No, I 100% agree. He needs a good one, a good chance.
Yeah,
He needs a good shot at it. Um, I think, actually, now I'm kind of interested to ask you about now looking at these welterweight rankings. Jorge Masvidal, do you think he gets it? How do you think that second fight with Usman goes?
man. First of all, I want to talk about the circumstances. So, as I said in the last podcast, I was talking about the Ultimate Fighter, talking about how there's gonna be two uh you how I thought it was gonna be Kobe and Jorge, right? So apparently it's more leaning towards Jorge and Usman, and I think that's a very because people are gonna watch that. People are gonna watch that because, like, let's be real, people find like Jorge funny to watch. Do you know what I mean? He's funny. He's good in like press conferences and all, and people find Usman cringy. So it's just a perfect mix. Do you know what I mean? People are gonna hate Usman, love Jorge, and it's the reason why their first fight got like 1.6 million buys in a week's 1 week notice. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's a very good thing, a very good plan that the UFC has. But addressing your question, Sean, uh, man, I'm not gonna lie. After seeing that performance by Kamaru Usman and showing that he could like properly finish people, do you know what I mean? I think I don't know, based off what I've seen so far, after two dominant performances in his last fights, I'd say Kamaru would have the edge. But I don't wanna say anything just yet though. But I'd say Kamaru definitely has the edge right now.
Uh, it's an interesting way to go at it.
Excuse me, just
Um,
one fight afterwards, not two. One fight.
it's an interesting way to go at it. But I think it can go. It's one of those fights that it would like you can't look at it in the way that we can't just say Kamaru's gonna win, Jorge's gonna win. It's not one of those.
Yeah,
Obviously,
that's what I'm
anything can
saying.
happen, but I think that Jorge, I think Jorge on a camp, like I think that obviously he had that built-in excuse, like Kamaru said, but I think Masvidal on a camp as well. I think Usman on a camp, especially, it'd make it very interesting. But I don't think Usman would stand with Jorge. Like it wouldn't. I just don't think he would like properly stand up and fight with him.
Hmm.
Um, something actually I was just hold on. Let me see these. You seeing these? Yeah. So Kamaru Usman in that last fight, as we were saying, showed great like ability on the feet, but like the fact that he was able to be caught by Gilbert Burns, who realistically is a jiu-jitsu guy who hits hard.
Yeah.
You know, Jorge Masvidal is a striker, comma kind of brawler who hits hard.
Not just that, he is a pressure fighter, and we saw that against Nate Diaz. He was turning up the pace, you know what I mean? Like obviously Nate was as well. But the fact that he was able to just dominate Nate over that like whole long period of time. Those how many rounds was it? Three before it got stopped, right?
I believe it was three. It was going into the championship rounds, and then it got stopped.
Yeah, and it was a brilliant performance. I think Jorge's striking is definitely levels above Kamaru Usman. But like still, man, after seeing that, it's kind of difficult to say, to be honest with you. I'd kind of want to more time to think about it and make my prediction closer to the fight. But as of now, Usman is fresh off a championship. What's it called? Fighting off against Gilbert. Retaining the championship. That's what I was meant to say. He retained his championship. He has one fight extra above Jorge. The ring rust is a little bit like shaken off. I think he'd be ready. I think he has the slight edge now.
You know, I see what you mean, but actually,
Yeah.
something we could say about that win: Kamaru Usman now has now more wins in the welterweight division than George St. Pierre, I believe. The more wins in the division.
No, I
I
think
think
it's the
that's how.
same.
I think it. No, I think he has the more wins now. But um, some people were saying very prematurely. May I add that Kamaru Usman is now in running for the GOAT status.
No, definitely not. He's
It's
paving his
very
way for it. He's paving his
it's
way for it.
it's very premature, 100%. But I think if he beats Jorge, then he needs to like. The thing is, who else is he gonna fight?
That's true.
Like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson's the only person that would make sense. Maybe if he fought Kobe again a second time, he fought Leon for a second time. But these are the people he's fighting for a second time. Maybe if Kamzat is on the come up and Kamzat can get in there and he beats Kamzat Chimaev, like
Mm.
I think he has to take these tests. Kamaru Usman, I don't think will ever move up to middleweight or anything like that because I just don't think I think he's comfortable at 170. I don't think he needs to move up, to be honest, to prove how good he is. Um,
I think if he wants to prove his GOAT status, because that's the thing. First of all, GSP, out of those 13 fights, I believe 11 of those were title defenses.
oh, exactly, yeah.
Uh, so he was retaining the championship all those times. Do you know what I mean? Kamaru Usman only has 3, I believe. And again, GSP, not only did he move up a weight class, but he also won a championship in that weight class after coming back. You know what I mean? He put on a lot of
And he
weight,
finished
had
him
a
as
very
well.
hard time putting on all that weight against Bisping, and he won the championship. He finished him off. So that I don't think you could say Kamaru Usman is the GOAT. He's definitely
No.
paving his way, though. He's definitely paving his way towards that. But nah, you can't compare that, man. You can't compare GSP
Do you
and
think
Usman.
George would come back?
Nah, he said himself, Usman doesn't interest me. I don't think he ever will come back because unlike Khabib, again,
Because
I'm no shade, yeah, but unlike Khabib, he actually took his name out the USADA testing pool. So if he really wanted to come back, he'd have to do so and then wait like a couple months. I think it's like 3 or 6 months to be approved by the USADA testing pool. So I don't know. I don't think it's worth the wait for him, especially since he's getting older.
for him especially, he doesn't like him coming back fighting Kamaru Usman and beating him would just cement him
Mm.
as like the welterweight goat, like this overall. But like he doesn't need to do that.
Yeah, he doesn't need to prove anything.
Like he's done everything he needs to do. Like I'm not entirely sure, but like he's avenged all his losses.
Yeah,
Like he's done it in two divisions. He didn't just beat like any middleweight champion. He beat Michael the Count Bisping, who is a guy who cuts a lot of weight to make 185.
yeah.
He beat a big guy, and
And
he
he
got
didn't
cut
just
up
beat
as
him,
well in
he
that fight.
finished him. He finished him.
Exactly.
That's the thing. That's what's impressive. He finished him with a rear naked choke, which is very impressive. He won the title in the second division. Obviously, he didn't make any defenses, but Like if you even saw him, like you could tell he was bloated. You know what I mean? He even said himself he had a very tough time making that middleweight weight.
Because he's not that big of a guy.
Mm.
He's a very lean, very strong guy, but he's not that big of a guy. Actually, something really like just really really random. I want to just bring up for absolutely no reason. Mike Perry versus Darren Till on Tough. That's the one I want to see the most.
Oh man, stop! That'd be so funny. Because the thing is, man, I don't know what the deal is with them. They're friendly in 1 second, and then the next they're beefing. Like man, that would be such a funny thing to watch. Like honestly, it would. But I think they want champions in the tough, in the
Yeah,
Ultimate Fighter.
of course. Like it doesn't make sense to be like for Mike Perry. It would be so good for him as a fighter because he's coming off a loss or something. I think I'm pretty sure he lost. Like it would be a great one for him. For Darren Till, it does nothing for him.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
it like it would maybe get him more fans, and in the long run he could maybe get up there then, and he'd be a great he could like in the middleweight division and push himself onwards a bit. But like
Mm.
it doesn't entirely make a lot of sense for Darren Till to take Mike Perry in that. Like I think he would actually kill Mike Perry. He wouldn't kill him, but he would hurt him.
Yeah.
He's bigger, he's faster. Like Mike Perry, Darren Till said it best, is a fat lightweight. Like he's not, he should fight at lightweight, this guy, but he fights at welterweight. Cause he's not gonna cut that much, he
He's a
doesn't want to cut
gangster,
all
bro.
that weight. He's a gangster, yeah, bro. No, he's not. He's, he's gonna get knocked out in his next fight, probably.
Nice.
Mike
Oh
Perry just
man.
does my head in. Like he's such a bad person. Like he needs to just go away almost. Like fight, you either give him the Darren Till fight or just do nothing. Cause like that's the only fight that anyone wants to see him in. Like no one
I
wants to see
think
him fight like these bums.
I think if Darren Till
Is he even
loses
in the
if
rankings? Sorry,
let me check real quick. Uh a middleweight? No.
at welterweight. I mean,
A welterweight?
no.
No. He's not even in
Mike
the ranking.
Platinum Mike Perry. Is he like? He's not even a top 15 fighter. Like
Yeah. I know it'd be weird because Darren Till would he have to cut to welterweight because he's trying to make a name for himself in middleweight right now. Do you know what I mean? He used to have to cut a lot of weight for that
Mike
welterweight those welterweight fights.
Perry said he'd go up to middleweight apparently, but
Man, this fucking Mike Perry guy. I reckon if Darren Till goes on a 2-fight lose, if he loses this fight that he's about to have against Marvin Vittori, it's Vittori, right? Or
yeah,
is it Hermanson?
yeah,
Yeah.
Vittori.
If he loses against Vittori, then I think just to build his name back up, I reckon give him a give me fight because he uh his resume as of like late, do you know what I mean? Like he was very promising, but then he loses to Tyron Woodley in the for the title in the title fight. Obviously, a lot of people say it was too quick, so they put him again like half a year later against Jorge, gets starched, gets a nice win over Kevin Gastelum, but then he loses by decision against Robert Whitaker. You know, he needs.
But that Whitaker one was a close one. To be fair, that could have gone either way. But the
Mm,
takedowns did it for Bobby Knuckles. Um,
yeah.
Darren Till's an interesting one because he he's in this middleweight division. He's like one or two fights off a title fight. Like if he beat Marvin Vettori impressively and all that, and then Israel could just be like, yeah, I'll take him after I beat Jan. Like that could easily happen. Um, because he doesn't want to fight Paulo Costa or Robert Whitaker, but he could fight
Mm,
Darren Till. Like it. this fight that it'd be interesting to watch, but like same time, I think that Izzy would take him. You know, um, it's a very weird one with Darren Till because like I don't know if he would beat Jared Cannonier. You know,
Mm.
but
Yeah.
Darren Till's a weird one. But actually, peep an interesting one. Sorry, I should have talked about this with you when I was talking about Leon Edwards, but Nate Diaz turned him down, obviously.
Hmm.
Um, but then Nate Diaz has just been turned down by Charles Oliveira.
Charles Oliveira has like I that's what I respect about him right now. Although he's getting these big fights offered to him, and I think Dana is definitely trying to convince him with a nice healthy paycheck as well. Charles Oliveira has his eyes set on the title. I don't think he's gonna want to fight anyone else except for Poirier. I don't think he wants to do what Tony did and lose his number one contendership. Do you know what I mean? Because like if he fights next and he loses, then he just fucked up his long ass win streak and like his contendership. Do you know what I mean? Like there's no point, especially with the dangerous fighters. Like okay, Nate Diaz, I don't know if he would be as it'd be a fun matchup because both guys, you know, jiu-jitsu guys. It'd be a very fun fight. But like he
But
turned
what?
down Nate
But like,
Diaz. Yeah, yeah,
sorry, I hate to butt in there, but
yeah.
it's like the thing with that fight as well. What weight is it at?
Lightweight.
Nate Diaz is not fighting a lightweight. He said that.
But he
He said I'm fighting at 170, but he wants to fight the lightweight guys. You know,
man, this guy is just
Nate
fucking
Diaz doesn't know what he wants. He wants to
this
fight the
guy
lightweight guys.
smoked like 7 joints before he's fucking tweets and his interviews, man.
He
But
probably ate like 7 edibles as well. Like he's just about to the first ever human to overdose on THC. Probably had a ventilator in his room, just putting out just pure ganj in his room. THC, CBD. Like, that's what was happening. Look at him. He doesn't know where he is. He kept looking around the room. He was fucking, oh, what's the word? He
he
was
was fucked, man.
paranoid. He was paranoid, this guy, that someone was in his room with him, probably seeing like devils on the wall and stuff.
He was fucked, man. But
He was
listen,
probably seeing like the king on the wall, Conor McGregor saying, "Surprise, surprise! The king is back!" After he lost, like, who is Nate Diaz? Who is this guy? He beat Anthony Pettis. Like, come on, man.
but
That's
then
who
he
you beat.
lost to Jorge Masvidal, bro.
He lost to Jorge. He's lost to Conor. Like,
Bro,
that's
this guy, I think when Sean O'Malley develops his mentality, do you know what I mean? Because Sean O'Malley, he does not take L's. He is mentally undefeated. Nate Diaz, he is mentally undefeated times 10. Even though he fucking loses against Masvidal, he'll still go over to him and call him a bitch. He'll call everyone shit. He'll call every single
he
fighter
called him.
like trash.
Is it?
And then he'll call out the best.
He
Oh man.
Nate Diaz is just such a fun fight. Like, you know, the fight we actually should see: Nate versus Nick at 170.
Oh man. Nick got into some like into fighting shape. That's the thing, but I don't know what's up with him. Like,
Yeah, Nick. You don't hear a lot of him. I want to see Nick come back. If we got so Nate, let's be real, is not gonna fight at 170 like properly
mm,
probably like he's not gonna be like he got offered Leon Edwards number 3, who if he beat, by the way, puts him literally in the title.
mm,
You know, if he goes in unranked at 170, beats Leon Edwards number 3, that puts him like up like top five, elite top 7. You know, top 5. Then he would probably get offered the Jorge rematch, or he would get offered Colby Covington, or maybe even Kamaru Usman straight up. Like they want Nate Diaz to fight for belts
yeah.
because it makes money, it makes sense. As DJ Quick said, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And this guy makes sense to
Yeah,
fight for money.
facts, man. But listen, back to this Charles Oliveira schmuck, yeah? Nah. He's not a schmuck, but listen, not only did he turn down Nate Diaz, he turned down Michael Chandler, which was very surprising for a lot of
He
people
turned down
because
what?
he turned down Michael Chandler before the Nate Diaz turned down. Because I think that's a very dangerous fight to take because as we saw, somebody as like the fucking dog himself, Hooker, knocked out in less than in one round pretty much. He gets starched. Uh, he's a he's a very dangerous fighter to have on the inside because I think he's so like short and stocky. Do you know what I mean? If he goes on the inside, you better just cover up because like you're not hitting him, and as well as his wrestling being fucking elite as well. Uh, I reckon it's a good shout for him. Not, I don't. I think he saw what Tony did, and he's just kind of learned like, man, I'm comfortable on my number one
He is
contendership,
Tony
man.
Ferguson. We've already established that
He
Charles
basically is,
Oliveira
man.
is the reincarnated Tony Ferguson.
That's
Like Tony
facts, man.
Ferguson in that fight, like he lost that 3 rounder on purpose so he could put his soul in a younger body. So so he gets back his win streak in a second. That's what he did, and it's amazing. See, like the whole thing, like the only person in the welterweight lightweight picture who pisses me off is Nate Diaz, because
Nate
he's just
Diaz
like
is the GOAT.
he wants to fight Dustin Poirier at 170. He wants to fight Charles Oliveira at 170. Why would they fight him at 170 if they're trying to get title fights at 155? Like,
Like,
does it make sense to him? Does it make sense to him, like, at all? Because he sees himself as like this champion when he's on an L, you know?
hmm,
And before he fought um before he fought Anthony Pettis, like he was on an L, you know?
yeah.
Like he's not anywhere he needs to be calling the shots even though he thinks he is.
Hmm,
Like
that's
Nick
true.
Diaz coming back, I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't but he would actually come into the welterweight picture as a title contender
It'd be
and he would take a
disgusting to see
fight.
him again.
But the only problem with Nick is Nick takes everything so personally, and he would beat. Let's say he comes in, he beats number 15. Okay, wait, he would not Robbie Lawler. But let's say he comes in to the welterweight picture, and he beats Neil Magny or something. He would go, "Where you at, George? Where you at?" He would start calling out. He would, like, he actually would start calling out like George St. Pierre, like, which doesn't
That's
make sense. Like
interesting.
Nick would call out George St. Pierre
That's interesting
again.
because do you think GSP would come out of retirement for that fight?
No. No. Why
Really?
would he come back to fight someone he's already beat?
I don't know, man. It'd bang fucking views.
It it would bang pay per view. But like
I mean, any GSP fight would bang pay per view, man.
and especially if it's a hot streak Nick Diaz. See, we're getting into fantasy land right now, but it would be so cool if Nick comes back and fights. Like,
Yeah.
if he comes back and they give him someone like, oh, actually, you know what? Nick Diaz, give him someone top 10. Like, literally, as I said, Neil Magny would be a banger. Or
Mm.
like Damian Maya. And then give him Tyrone Woodley if Tyrone beats Vicente Luque, which that would be so sick if he beat, so Tyrone Woodley coming off a win, fights Nick Diaz, then those two, like, it would be a good, like, I want Nick Diaz to like just come out and say, I'm fighting or I'm not fighting, you know?
He was teasing everyone. Like not too long ago, he was in like fighting shape. Like he was looking real good. But I don't know. I don't know what's up, man. Like apparently he's training for a 2021 comeback, but like he's not saying anything himself. Do you know what I mean? He's like really keeping quiet about that shit.
He's never been like the biggest guy to let the media know what's happening anyway,
Yeah.
which nowadays in the UFC is not exactly how you get fights, but still,
Facts.
you know, it's just interesting the whole welterweight thing. Like, I want to see Kamara. I want to see him defend two more times this year. Like,
Yeah.
do you think he defends two more times this year?
Kamaru Usman.
Summer and then maybe December?
Uh, I'd, mm, I think it, it's the best plan for him, but there's nobody for him. It's a struggle to find him an opponent now.
Yeah, like Jorge
Yeah,
now
Jorge's there,
and then like Colby again in
but
December
Kobe's gonna
or
have to.
Cole.
I reckon Kobe would have to like fight. What's it called? Somebody else to win, just so
Leah, oh,
because it's gonna be
Gilbert
so long.
Burns would be a good fight.
It actually will be two losers from Kamaru Usman fight back for the number one contendership, and
Two
then
people who just beat Tyrone Woodley as well.
yeah, but I think Leon Edwards has to be somewhere in the picture. I reckon Leon
Yeah.
Edwards, Stephen Thompson, and then Kobe Covington and Gilbert Burns. The winners of both fight each other for number one contendership, and then they face Kamaru Usman in December.
Actually, hold on. What's the card that it's the March 20th or something like that what's his name? Yeah, I believe it's March 20th that Leon Edwards is meant to be fighting on. March 20th UFC. Let's see. Guy's fighting at 188. Let's see. Let's have a look at who else is fighting on that card from the welterweight division.
Let us.
188. Is there anyone there who? Like it's meant to be Leon Edwards Chimaev, but it's not going
It's
to be.
so depressing to see that, man. Oh shit, Zubara, man.
Who?
Fucking Zubara, bro. Khabib's fucking training partner. The guy who, what's it called? Wait, did he have anything? Oh, no, I think Connor fucking hates him.
Zubarev.
Yeah.
He's on the
Fuck,
188
I'm
card.
pretty sure he did like some, he like did something that like fucking pissed someone off or something. But yeah, he's on the same card. And I actually want to see him fight. That's actually
Oh fuck! I am just hold on. I'll have a quick look at the 188 card. There it is. Okay, it's meant to be Leon Chimaev, which is just not happening, obviously.
yeah.
Oh, that's super. He's this guy. He looks weird. I always thought he looked like a bit of a weirdo.
He's on a one fight skid though. That's the thing.
Oh, but hold on. Let's talk. You know, coming up though, this 21st of February, this weekend, and then the following weekend, we got two heavyweight bangers.
Alright,
Curtis
listen.
Blades, Derek Lewis, and then Rosenstrike, Cyril Gain is gonna be
Two
two.
big bangers.
Oh.
And uh I think
Watch on
maybe
ESPN, by the way, guys. Watch on
boys,
ESPN.
shout
Check.
out, yeah. Shout out to the UFC actually. First I wanna mention, yeah, their production on the last fucking thing, on the last show, made it look like a movie, man. Like those shots of like Kamaru Usman and all those entrances, even them leaving the cage, man. Like, man, that was so cinematic. Like shout out to the UFC, man. Shout out to the
Get your
UFC.
fight pass. Get your fight
Dana
pass.
scared everyone into buying the UFC, and they used the extra budget to buy cameras.
Get your UFC fight pass, guys. Make sure you get your
Shout
fight
out
pass.
UFC, man. Check them out if you haven't already. That's who we, that's the promotion that we like. Check out ESPN, great source for all your MMA needs, not just MMA, sporting news, And yeah, man. Curtis Blades, Derek Lewis. I want Derek Lewis to win, man. I want him to win. Alexei Olenek as well. I want him to
But
get that
See, the thing
60th
is,
win.
Derek Lewis. I'll be very interested to see how he looks coming into this fight because he was meant to fight in December, but he was said in his last fight he fought Alexei Olenek, and he beat him in the second round by knockout. But he said he was taking a break after that fight to lose weight properly. Um, but Curtis Blades right now, I believe he's on a 4-fight win streak.
Let me just confirm.
He is. Well, firstly, he fought before he took that L streak. He fought in Overeem. He beat Overeem, and then he fought Francis, and the less said about that, the better. Then he fought Willis. He's beat on decision. He fought I don't know what this guy's name is. Wow, that's a lot of vowels. Um, I don't know how to say this guy's name. He looks like not my dad, but he looks like a dad. He beat him by knockout.
Abdurakhimov, bro. Shamil Abdurakhimov, the GOAT.
He beat some little fighter called Junior Dos Santos by knockout. And then he beat Alexander Volkov. Not too bad if you ask me. 4-fight win streak. He's going on to fight Derek Lewis, who, by the way, I believe he's tied for the most knockouts in the heavyweight history. Derek Lewis, an absolute legend. 3-fight win streak right now. He's got 19 wins by knockout. Can Curtis Blades withstand this man's power? What do we think about that? I'm not too sure. But I think Lewis has everything he needs to beat anything in the world to beat Curtis Blades. But I think Curtis Blades has been going off his wrestling a lot. And I think he's gonna win, to be honest. I think Curtis Blades takes this fight.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you think about it, but I think Curtis Blades wins this fight. Either by stoppage through ground and pound or a decision is how I see it going. I could be wrong. Don't get me. It's not. But I think Curtis Blades is too dominant on the ground. He's going to take over.
You know what? I'm going to give a bold prediction. First of all, in each fight, there's always I think and I want. I want Derek Lewis to win. I'm going to give a bold prediction. After watching Derek Lewis's last fucking fights, him throwing fucking high kicks like he's a fucking bantamweight. Man, I'm giving this bold prediction out to the world right now. Derek Lewis fucking some sort of capoeira kick KO, man. Just a head kick KO. Like, I'm genuinely not even joking. That's my prediction. Head kick KO by Derek Lewis. Alexei Olenek fucking submits this Chris Daukaus guy. Fucking, I reckon another Ezekiel choke. Cheeky.
From his back.
Yeah, maybe.
From his back, imagine. Another one.
Andrei Arlovsky gets fucking knocked out in the first round. First punch thrown by Tom Aspinall, bro. Andrei Arlovsky, no disrespect, but he's getting fucking knocked out. And then he could prove me wrong, though. That's the motivation for him, man. Prove Milan wrong. And then Eddie Wineland, the guy who got walk-off KO'd by the mentally undefeated fucking Sugar Sean.
Eddie Wineland's fighting?
Yeah, and the fucking... Man, look at the fucking prelims for that card. There's like 20
Eddie
fights.
Wineland, the GOAT. I want to see this guy, Eddie Wineland needs to win.
There's 10 fights on the prelims.
Oh my god. What the
I think because they're combining the early prelims and prelims together.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense then. I'm not sure if you've looked into him yet, Milan, but oh my god. Jairzinho or Rosenstruck. That's a tongue twister. Um, Jairzinho versus Cyril Gain. Like, if you just look at who Gain has fought, it's not even more who he's fought, it's how he's fought. He's a kickboxing champion, I believe, and he's been taking everybody down and choking them.
He's been
And
taking their ankles, bro.
I believe he's 7-0 as a fighter, 6-0 as in the UFC. I could be wrong with that. Um, but he's just been looking very good. He beat Junior Dos Santos by knockout, which is just like, what? Who does that? He only has, okay, my mistake. He only has 3 fights in the UFC. He's won them all, of course. One of them was, I think the first fight was by submission. But if you look at this guy, he is just big. He's an 81-inch reach, 76-inch in height, but I'm not quite sure what that is in feet. He's only 30 years old. He's 245 245 pounds. Did Rosenstrike, has he fought recently? Did he fight Overeem, was it?
I'm pretty sure he fucking got absolutely destroyed by Ngannou, man.
No, I know that, but I think he fought
Junior Dos
Overeem.
Santos, he TKO'd him.
I'm fairly certain he fought Overeem. Rosenstrike
Yeah, that was before Francis. He KO'd him.
Was it?
That was 2 years ago, man.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm completely off then, ladies and gentlemen.
Man, listen.
Yeah, no, he fought Junior. Sorry, he fought Junior recently. That's my mistake.
Although that is a good fight, I'm not gonna lie, I'm more excited for the light heavyweight fight on that card. Nikita Krylov versus Magomed Ankalaev. These Soviet fucking ballers, man, yeah? I swear to God. Ankalaev fucking... wait, 1 second, please.
Oh, Ankalaev.
He beat fucking Ian Kutalaba twice. Okay, the first one, it was fucking dodgy because Ian fucking like faked some shit, and people were saying, oh, it's a bad stoppage. Then he fucking knocks him out in the first round again in like 2 seconds. And then
who's he fighting though?
Nikita Krylov, bro, the monster from Ukraine. His nickname, the Miner.
Oh, he beat Johnny Walker in his last fight.
He won against Johnny Walker. He lost against Glover Teixeira, but the fact that he's fighting him shows that, like, you know, he's fighting like the top people. He lost against Jan in 2018 by submission.
Is he actually beat? Hold on, I'm looking at this guy's record. It's kind of scattered. He's losing a lot. He hasn't lost. He's not winning a lot recently.
This guy lost his amateur.
He actually,
career,
hold on.
He goes, do you know what?
He fought a heavyweight before against Walt Harris.
Walt Harris is a baller.
And he knocked him out in 2014.
That's why I'm excited. Look at the wins that Nikita Krylov has, please. He only has 1 decision win. That's it. Everything else are finishes. He goes into his fights going for the finish. He only has 2 decisions in his whole career. 1 decision win and 1 decision loss. Everything else are finishes. And then if you look at Ankalaev, yeah, he's kind of similar. Not too much though. His one and only loss is a sub. But 9 KO wins, 5 decision losses. So basically, you could guarantee that this fight is going to be like a finish. Like, I don't care what you say. This fight is going to be a finish, man.
I hope so. I do hope so. Nikita Krylov fought Saint Crux or whatever. I presume he's from Canada, to be honest, with a name like that. He fought him back in 2014 and lost by submission, and then recently he's actually avenged that loss. Back in April of 2019, he avenged that loss with a submission of his own. Then obviously he lost to Glover Teixeira, which Glover Teixeira is an absolute beast, and I can't wait to see where he fits. He's the step in, as you were telling me.
Listen, man, I'm gonna talk about that whole situation in a different episode, man. Listen, there's so many things that I wanna talk about, man. That I can't yet because we need some fucking stuff for the next couple.
It's
episodes.
a nice little cliffhanger to leave the episode on, but we will be talking about that in a few weeks. Maybe closer to it. We were talking about the whole light heavyweight situation. UFC 249 is coming up. March 6th, make sure you buy your pay-per-view. But Glover Teixeira, obviously, to step in for that fight, it's going to be a very interesting one to see how that all plays out. If you guys have listened the whole way through, hope you've enjoyed. Make sure to drop a comment down below, get involved in the conversation. And that's all from us for today. Thank you very much for watching, guys.
We appreciate it, guys. Take care.